Warning, listening to this podcast could result in spending or saving large amounts of money. Listener discretion advised.
Strap in for a wildly unqualified adventure with two overly opinionated collectors, armed with good intentions and questionable expertise, as they stumble through a galaxy of toys and collectibles, pretending to know it all, where every figure has a story and every opinion is a showdown. Welcome to Across the Toyverse.
Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Across the Toyverse. Scott, how the heck are you, buddy?
Hello, Pickle.
Hello, Pickle.
I'm good, man.
Is that a Peppa Pig reference?
Hell no.
No, it's not.
I ate Peppa Pig.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't have anything savage, dude.
I don't have anything personal against Peppa. I just don't like the show at all. I'm good. I'm exceptionally well. There are some reasons, but it's just I'm just feeling it, you know.
Yeah, you're feeling it right now. Well, I'm dragging ass today. I am exhausted. I am tired. I was up late last night watching the Celtics lose. Oh, don't forget his little glasses fell.
Oh, thank you.
Looks right down there. We have lots of toys today. Lots. You've brought a lot because it's been a while since we've gotten together to do a podcast. So because I kind of sat on the last podcast for an extra week and then I was out of town and it didn't get up to a lot of places. And then, so it's just been a minute since we've actually recorded. So you've brought a lot of pickups. So always after this episode drops, you guys can check Across the Toyverse Instagram page, _the_Toyverse. And you can see all the toys that we're playing with. And there's a lot. And they kind of range all the different price points, all different scales, all different.
As it typically does.
Yeah, all over the place.
Yeah.
All over the place. Got some 1/18 scale stuff out here, which is wild because you and I don't collect 1/18 scale. But I picked up something from 3 Minute Project and it's a lot of fun, if not super tiny. As I was building it, I realized my sausage fingers are too big for these delicate little pieces to be put together. Right. It was a little difficult. But anyway, today's episode, we're going to be going over some recent pickups. We're then going to be talking about some Thor releases, both from Hasbro and Mezco, some hits and misses for Mezco this week. And then we're going to get into a little bit of tariff talk because the tariffs have ended. They were, surprise, unconstitutional, which... What? Imagine that.
What?
I think they knew that when they did it.
With this administration?
No, say it ain't so. And so we're going to talk about the tariffs coming to an end and what that will mean, if anything, for us. What it may mean. I think some people are getting their money back, but it won't be us. So let's take a quick break. Have a little thank you to our sponsor. And then when we come back, we'll get into recent pickups. Over the past year, Articulated Empire has become your trusted online retailer. They carry all the latest lines like Mythic Legions, Valiverse, AWOC, Zestray Studios, and much, much more. They ship your items quickly and securely. You'll be quite happy with how Steve and his team follow through with their care and attention. Articulated Empire also offers free shipping over $75 and no tax except for Illinois residents. So head over to articulatedempire.com today and build your empire. All right, and we're back. So you want to kick things off with recent pickups? You have anything that you've picked up a lot, but what is something that you've brought that is like, man, this is like your fave thing now?
I'll try to keep it short because I have several. I did get a couple of the Noda Studios. They're calling it the Homebody figure, which is like their sort of
polite.
Yeah, that's sort of their dad bod figure. I love him. For one thing, he's a little bigger than like a 6-inch scale. The clothes that fit him are like 1/10 size, which is like 7-inch. So be aware of that if you're going to get this guy.
He's definitely a bigger body
Yeah.
not just chubby rise, but he's a bigger figure than the Noda Studios blank bodies that I've gotten before.
Yeah.
I noticed.
Yeah, and I didn't know that before he came in. So he showed up before the clothes I bought for him showed up, and I had nothing to put on him except for like he comes with a pair of pink shorts, and then I had this one really baggy sweatshirt that fit him, but it fit him tight. So if you're gonna get this guy, just know you got to buy soft goods there for like 7-inch figures, basically. But they do make a few sets of clothes for specifically this figure, and he's great. Yeah, they made him bigger, like with a gut and stuff, more like how you and I look, and how probably a lot of us look, which is great. And that's what I wanted him for. And that's why I bought two. I wanted one to be sort of my avatar for a video series I want to do about bugs. And then the other one I just wanted to kind of mess around with. So it's a little complicated considering a lot of soft goods don't fit him, but he's a great figure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking, I'll get this body and I'll put like the Mezco soft goods from Doc Ock and I'll upgrade the Doc Ock. I don't think that'll work.
No, the soft goods, well, I don't know. The soft they might. I've been surprised. I've seen some people put Mezco soft goods on figures that are bigger and they fit. So I don't really know how that'll work. But I've seen people put the head from the Mezco Doc Ock on this guy. And since Mezco head scale tends to run a little bigger, it actually looks pretty good. But a lot of other heads are not going to look scale-wise, are not going to fit this guy. But anyway, he's been a great figure. I also got the Tonson art. I forget what they call their trunks, but it's the future trunks from Tonson art recently. Amazing figure. They are totally eating premium Bandai's lunch with these Dragon Ball figures. I think I paid 60, maybe 70 for this guy on AliExpress. He comes with powered down head, 2 different powered down hair sculpts, plenty of faces for it. He comes with Super Saiyan hair, plenty of faces for that, tons of hands. He's got a sword. The sword connects to the top of the hilt. It connects, like it doesn't come apart, but then on the bottom, I forgot to show you this, where the strap goes around him, it's a magnet onto that part.
That's a neat.
Yeah, so it can just come apart if it needs to rather than break or something and then go and just connect right back. It's brilliant move on their part. And then I got also on AliExpress a soft goods jacket to go on him. But since this is a little bit of beefier future trunks, the jacket's a little tight on him, but he's great. He is a solid figure. Tonson art is fucking killing it with their Dragon Ball stuff. I also got the Revoltech Suicide Squad Isekai Harley Quinn, and she is definitely in my top 10 for the year.
That's a lot of fun.
This is an amazing figure. They nailed the look of her in the Suicide Squad anime. If you haven't watched Suicide Squad Isekai, it's right now. It's streaming on HBO Max as of the time of the recording of this podcast, and it's a lot of fun, whether you like anime or not. But especially if you like anime and the Suicide Squad.
Is that the only character they've made from that anime?
To my knowledge. She comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different face plates that give her just a ton of character and range. She's got plenty of hands. She's also got her baseball bat. She's got her pink, like Desert Eagle style pistol. It's a Revoltech, so like everything you would want to move on the figure moves, and they have gotten better with their tolerances, so she doesn't like fall apart in your hands, which is super nice of Revoltech to finally start working on.
Yeah, that's always frustrating.
Yeah,
you're trying to work a figure and everything you do just gets undone.
Yeah, because the arm falls out of the socket or whatever. I haven't had any of those issues with her. She stays together in one piece. Can do whatever. Like she's been a ton of fun to play around with. Let's see, and which brings me now to a figure I had passed on initially, but then decided to find because I watched the review from Mr. D Amazing. The Mezco Classic Thor figure is beautiful. I mean,
he is really nice. There's something just charming about that old Jack Kirby design.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jack Kirby, and they really knocked this guy out of the park with like the looking like Jack Kirby, but not I want to say too Jack Kirby. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's the features are a little softer, but you see Jack Kirby in it. Um, I had passed on him because looking at Mezco's promo shots, this is almost always the case. The heads look bigger in their promo shots. Then you get it in hand, and it's like, okay, it's not as pronounced as I looked in the promo shots. But then also in hands, Mezco figures tend to be better than they look in the promo shots. They tend to.
I find that to be the case.
Yeah, they tend to look a little better, and usually you can get a little more movement out of them than they show a lot of times in the promo shots. Not always, but pretty often. I had passed on him because I thought I was going to find a sort of classic Thor to be my definitive Thor from Hasbro, but they haven't put one of those out in quite a while. And now they have this new Maximum Thor coming out, and it's a more modern look on Thor, and I like it. It's fine, but it's not what I wanted. So I watched The Amazing's review of this guy, and he sold me on it. I mean, this Thor is awesome. The hair is so soft that it moves out of the way for pretty much anything you want to do. He's got all the accessories you would want, which is a couple of different hammers, the swinging hammer effect that the Maximum Thor does not come with for some reason. And then several like brand new lightning effects that they made specifically for this figure because they lock onto his hammer. He's great, man. I'm limited ab range because it's a Mezco, but also very good ankles, like maybe some of the best ankles we've gotten from Mezco. So
yeah, I was surprised at the range of motion there.
Yeah. So
and I'm also surprised they don't do that on more figures.
Yeah. So I got this guy on notjusttoys.com. He was like $105. I don't remember if I paid shipping or not, but it took maybe a week to get here. They did a great job. I was not familiar with this website until I found this guy. But yeah, if you are like me and you just want your one definitive Thor, I also have the Mafex Thor, and which I paid almost as much for, and I like this guy so much better.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to have a full on Thor discussion here in just a minute.
Yeah.
And get into all the nuts and bolts. For me, I have I'm playing around right now with, thanks to my good buddy Rob, a trade that I made with him to get this LPZZ Arkham Knight Batman. I'm kind of late to the party. Everybody's been gushing over this figure. Let me show you something about this that I just found out. Because you were messing around with it like this, and so was I, because I think this is how it was in the package. But look what I just noticed. His chest is pushed in, but the chest actually slides out to fill in the full chest. But when you want to bring the arms
in all that front,
you can actually pull these pieces on the chest over so that he can get his arms more. I didn't even realize that. I was sitting here playing with it, and I was like, why does this feel loose? And I pushed it, and it popped into place. I was like, what?
That's awesome.
Get out of town. I was trying to look online to see if the cape is removable. It does pop out right there, but it's not supposed to. And the instructions that it comes with is pretty limited. I also don't see unless, that's got to be it right there talking about the chest, but it's pretty limited in what it discusses in the instructions. But this is, of course, as amazing as people said. Shout out again to my buddy Rob for making the trade so I could get my hands on one of these. And I promptly, after like 30 seconds of playing with this guy, I was like, well, I guess I got to pre-order Deathstroke now.
No, that's awesome. I was just telling you, I haven't bought either because it was going to make me buy the other. And I'm not a big Arkham. I played one of the games for a little bit. I'm just not a big fan of that suit design. Just like
I'm not the hugest fan of.
But seeing people play around with them online, I was just like, but I do love Batman, and I do love a good figure.
Yeah,
that looks.
I'm a sucker,
Yeah.
really, for Batman. If it, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
You make a Batman, I don't care if it's licensed or not. I'm buying it. And
You noticed Batman toy, you could sell it to Mark.
right, exactly. And I noticed, is it on here or is it on? It may be on the box for. I think it's on the box for I think it's on the box for Deathstroke, is that this figure is by LPZZ, and I think they changed their name to UPF, I believe, figures. So I think there's a name change. I don't see it on there, but they have a new logo and it's on the Deathstroke box. But I guess LPZZ was just a little too complicated for people to remember. But this guy is a lot of fun. He's got some heft to him. I don't feel like any parts are metal, but it's some very dense and durable plastic. It is extremely well made. I think the only thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is the cape, only because, like McFarlane, the cape, unless it's not anchored properly, isn't the wire doesn't actually attach to the figure. It's just loose in the cape, so you can't get it. It's going to fall down. It's like McFarlane.
It looks like there's something to do.
I don't know. I got to figure out, because I see some exposed wires here in the back. I'm thinking this may not be installed properly. I may have to take this off, do a little more research about how to remove the cape and either fix what is here, because it does look like a nice cape, or replace it. And I would, I have no problem replacing. To me, having a perfect cape on a Batman figure, either to drape or to pose, can sometimes make or break. I can't tell you how many times I've just replaced the cape on a McFarlane figure, and then it's like solid. I'm like, I like this. Right? It calls me, I'm happy, But yeah, it is a super nice figure. I'm glad I didn't miss this train altogether. I almost did, but thanks to Rob coming in clutch. The other thing that I've picked up recently, I've picked up quite a bit. I went to ZoloCon and did a lot of shopping there, but I did get the CT Toys Gambit. I want to do a review of that. I have a Mafex Gambit on the way, and when it comes in, I'll do a review and compare the two. But the CT Toys Gambit, $32 shipped. And not only that, it showed up in less than 2 weeks. It came so fast. The box was not, sat on by 12 people by the time it arrived. It looked great. I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on. But I've since sent that exact link to that listing, to that specific store, to several people who have purchased it, and they too said it arrived decently shipped, like not crushed, and in less than 2 weeks. So good on that particular store.
That's nice.
Yeah, I like that, because there's nothing worse than like ordering a figure and you're like, well, I guess in a month I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Slow shipping.
Maybe
But
one day.
anyway, let's take a quick break right there with our pickups, and then when we come back, we'll get into some Thor talk. All right, and we're back. And the reason that we wanted to do some Thor talk was because there was kind of like a little overlap. So what we had happen here is Hasbro has come out and announced their, what is this now, their 4th figure in the Maximum series line, completely blowing my theory that one of the first 3 figures would have been a Wolverine. I'm still kind of waiting for that Wolverine to show up, but they have announced Thor as their next Marvel Maximum series release, and it's got a retail price of $55.99. And just going over some pictures here of it, you're gonna get, of course, the hammer. You're gonna get a hammer with a removable handle, or you just get an extra handle. You're going to get what looks to be 3 pairs of hands, 6 total hands. You're getting his Mjolnir hammer with the hand, the fist, in the straps, so that he's using it to fly. You're also getting, it looks like some sort of horn, or maybe this is I don't know if this is a horn, like a a horn that he's going to blow, or if it's going to be a horn that he drinks ale from. I'm not sure. You do get the little Thor frog with a cape. It doesn't look like it's articulated in any way. It's just a little static painted figurine.
That's what they're saying.
You get 2 lightning effects, which are reuse. I'm quite sure these have come with an electro or something down the line. And then we are getting swappable faceplates, which I love this idea, but it looks like we're getting only 2 heads. We're getting a head with no helmet, and then we're getting a helmet with the hair made onto it, which I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and make, I mean, this is the maximum line, right? Why didn't they make the helmet removable so that you could pose him holding his helmet? It doesn't look removable. It looks like the hair is made onto it. At least I can't find any pictures online.
Mark, it's only $56.
No,
What do you
I
expect?
know. But there seems to be some stuff missing here. Like there's lots to talk about here. There's lots of good to talk about here too. I mean, the figure is great.
Yeah.
The sculpting on the lower loincloth piece looks so good that it looks like it's soft goods. I had to go back and like double check to make sure that it wasn't soft goods because it does look like it, but it is sculpted plastic.
Oh.
And then you do get a really nice, it looks like a really nice wired cape. Multiple faces for different expressions is great. But no spinning Thor hammer, which I think that's got to be like that's kind of like you're going to make a Maximum Spider-Man and you're going to give it like you're like we're not going to give it a web shield, or we're not going to give it like a web backpack, or not give it
more egregious than that because it's Thor.
It's like one of the 2 things that it kind of like, yeah, I mean, you can make him fly with the hammer, but like, yeah, you got to have. So like, I'm kind of thinking, if we would have dropped the horn, drop one of the extra lighting effects because it comes with 2, and drop this frog, which just sits there.
Right.
I think I would have rather, just me personally, had like a spinning Thor hammer effect, which they've made and they have.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even, like, or not like they have to tool a whole new piece for that to happen. Like,
or a crazy idea, since you're charging $56, just give us the thing. Don't drop any of that and just throw in it's one other piece that you already have sculpted. I don't understand, man. I do not, but I knew this was coming. That last year, maximum line was $50 each, and somebody in January said, they're about to announce a new maximum figure, and it's probably going to be more than $50. And I was thinking, they're not gonna. And I was like, oh yes, they are.
Of course
they are.
Well,
$50 was last year's price.
Yeah, I mean, first with Spider-Man, he was $50, and then Hulk came out and was 60.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I knew you paid something because
Hulk was 60, but then they haven't come back down from that 50, right? Like, because the next was, or did they? I don't know. I didn't buy the. I thought third was Deadpool.
Deadpool was 50. I thought he was.
Okay, so Deadpool.
I haven't bought any of them, so I don't know.
And then this one comes out, and I don't see $56 worth of value there. The other strange thing to me about this particular release, and I have thoughts on it, is that it is a very specific version of Thor. It's based on I believe, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Olivier Coipel's art and his design, which is beautiful.
Yes.
I think I have one of the trades of his first run. I absolutely love his art.
Yeah.
And the way he has reimagined the armor looks beautiful. I have no problem with Marvel Legends making a Thor that is based on that look. I think it's an odd choice for your Maximum series line, because it's not like it's the most modern version of Thor. Like, it's not the most recent. It's not even the most recent within the last 10 years.
Right.
So it's not like kids going into a store are going to see it and instantly recognize it as, oh, I know that guy's art. Like, it seems like in the Maximum series line, you would want to give sort of like maybe Marvel Legends team, the sculptors, give us their own take on what like a modern version of this character would be, with very iconic nods, to like the iconic parts of the suits, Like it's almost like if they come out with, and it's not an if, it's just a matter of when, but it's almost like if they came out with a version of Iron Man in the Maximum series line, and that version of Iron Man is like, we're going to give you the clockwork Iron Man suit,
Right.
that's got like the big chunky,
Yeah.
like, I don't know what it's called, but like the gears over the shoulders, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like you went with that version.
Yeah.
Like that's the suit for the Maximum line that you guys went with. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like why you would specifically go with that particular version.
I think that's what a lot of people are feeling is like trying to get a handle on what does it mean that this is the Maximum line. If they announce or if they tease like, oh, the next one's going to be whatever character, we don't know what it's going to look like. And maybe that's by design, maybe that's, on purpose. They're sort of like just sort of picking, flying by the seat of their pants, just like picking a random, not random, but picking a look, and they're not really going by any because yeah, that's an updated Thor.
It's modern.
and they went
It's
with
not like the most
right,
modern.
but they went with a very modern Deadpool, which I'm not reading Deadpool right now, so I don't know if this is the most modern Deadpool look, but it's pretty modern. Um, and then the Spider-Man though is McFarlane style, so that's not modern. So it's like, what exactly what does the Maximum line mean?
Yeah, like,
And I think a lot of people are trying to understand that.
and maybe like if they had come out of the gate and said the Maximum series line, we're gonna pick like very iconic looks from very specific creators in the comics world. McFarlane's Spider-Man, Dale Keown's Hulk, because remember the Hulk had 3 heads and each one of them was a nod to a different creator, right? And then Deadpool, this is Rob Liefeld's Deadpool. And then this is, Olivier Coipel's Thor. Like if that's a part of it, I missed that in the announcement.
Right.
That we're like this Maximum series line is focusing on artists' looks, different renditions of these characters. But I don't think that was a part of it.
No, it doesn't.
Then it was like, then okay, then we need to call this like the Comic Creators series.
Right. Or put that on the package that if it's a selling point, let it be known, put on the package, McFarlane Spider-Man or whatever,
Right.
and that would kind of let people know too. As I'm saying this, I realize why they wouldn't do that, because you're going to wait, you're going to pass on this one and get the next one when it's a creator that you like more. So I guess I see why they wouldn't do that.
I mean, pack it in with a comic from that look is from. I mean, I don't know. Like, okay, here's the thing that kind of came to mind for me recently is okay, so I am very timidly getting into modern wrestling. Okay. So like I am trying for me to get into something, I need to try to I need to focus. Like if I wanted to get back into comic books, I would be like, okay, I love Batman. So where can I go jump in on Batman? Right? Like, oh, I love Spider-Man. Where can I go jump in on Spider-Man? And so for me, I was like, if I'm going to ease into like modern wrestling and start watching it, WWE, AEW, whatever, I was like, I guess I need to find a couple of characters, these personalities that I like, and like just focus on them and like let those characters be my gateway into this world. Right. So I focused on Danhausen because I think he's just kind of wild and kooky, and I've kind of like come around on him because at first that's a long story, but you and I've talked about that before, but he's kind of weird and like kooky, and so like I kind of like that, and so there's something very charming and appealing to him, and I really like him as a person underneath the makeup. Like I've seen interviews with him and he's like, I just want to have fun, and I just want to bring joy to like people and be fun. Like that's all I want to do. And like he has fun with it, and I dig that.
Yeah.
And so like I've kind of gravitated towards him as a person. So I like his character. And then I was like, well, who else is out there that I like? And I could just go out there and pick, well, who's ever at the top of the pyramid and just be like, I'm gonna follow that person. But for some reason, I really like the look of Cody Rhodes. So I kind of like focused in on him, and I was like, I wonder if he's related to Dusty Rhodes. Turns out that was his dad.
Yeah.
And his brother Dustin's into wrestling, and he was Gold Dust, and then he used to be called Stardust. And like I had to like follow his whole trajectory and like figure out who this guy is and whatever to see if he's somebody that personality wise I would gel with. Right. So then I was like, well, I guess I need to go buy a Cody Rhodes action figure. Right. Like I need to have some sort of representation of him on my toy shelf. So I was like, I'm going to go buy one. So that led me to my tie back to Marvel Legends and their Maximum series. If you look at what Mattel is doing with their wrestling line, okay, so their WWE wrestling figures, Mattel has pretty much, I think, cracked the code for how you do figures at retail successfully. And what I mean by that is they have 3 active lines.
Right.
Okay. Actually, they've got more than that. They've got a 4th that's like super deformed little pocket characters in like a little ring. I think they're called knuckle mashers or something like that. Let's put that aside. That's fun for like little kids, right? That's your like 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds that dig wrestling. Let's set that aside. They've got that market because clearly Star Wars, Marvel, they all have like a market for like little kids' toys. Like everybody's doing that. That's not a problem. But for collectors, okay, if you go to Target, you are going to see that Mattel has their base figures, which are like $17.99. Okay. They've got single joint knees, single joint elbows, no extra hands or heads, no accessories. Sub $20 figure. Looks good, has good paint apps, just doesn't have all the accessories, doesn't have all the articulation. Sub $20.
If you just want the guy on the shelf,
there you go.
there it is.
If you want to buy this for your 10-year-old or your 11-year-old or whatever.
I think he might be into wrestling. I'm not really sure, but we got to grab something for his birthday.
Right.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yep.
Then the next step up is like their G.I. Joe Classified series line, right? That's that $25, $26, depending on where you buy it. It's double knee articulation, pinless double joints on the knees, pinless double joints on the arms, couple of extra sets of hands, couple of extra heads.
Yeah. And those look pretty good.
And they look pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. They don't look that much worse. I mean, the sub $20 line doesn't look much worse than that. Like if you don't really care about the articulation, the sculpt is, I think, probably the same. They're probably using the same sculpts, the same scans, the same digital printing. Then you've got your Ultimate Series line that's coming in at like $35, like $32.99, $34, $33, $34 in that area. Your Ultimate line. That's going to be like super metallic paint deco, double joints, knees, elbows, lots of hands and heads accessories, lots of other accessories like a feather boa or like a snake or like whatever their gimmick is. With Cody Rhodes, he had like an extra soft goods cloak and like a skull thing that looked like his logo, like over his head. But again, all of the sculpts are pretty much the same. Like the head sculpt, like I wouldn't know. I'm not a big collector. If you popped each of those heads off and said, which one of these goes on which price point, I don't think I can tell you. I think they're all like the same head. So like, I think Mattel has sort of cracked that code as to that's how you do figures at retail successfully. Why is Hasbro not doing this? Why does Hasbro not have that same 3-tier system for Marvel Legends?
Seems like
they totally could.
Yeah.
The roster of characters that they have at their disposal is far greater than the WWE, even if you go back and count all the Legends of wrestling that they could go back into the 80s and 90s and 2000s and pick up. Marvel has way more characters than that. So they could have like a sub $20 line with single joint elbows and knees, no accessories. There's your base character, right? That's your most modern take, the most iconic look for that character that kids are going to recognize because they're more in that young, that tween era, like that 10, 11, 12-year-old era, right? Like that's for them. Then you've got your basic set, which is your 20, well, your next tier up, your medium tier, $25, $23, $24 for that figure. You get a little more accessories. Maybe that could be their classics line. So you're getting like Thor in his classic look, Hawkeye in his classic look, Spider-Man in his classic look. And then you've got your ultimate line, which is still nowhere near $50. We're talking $32, $34 era, like in that area, $35 maximum. And then that's your maximum ultimate line. Soft goods for your capes, extra heads with different expressions, extra hands, more accessories. I just don't know why they're not doing that. And the cool thing is Mattel is getting DC. And they've already shown off what their quote unquote sub $20 kids line is going to be. We don't know what their next step up is going to be, but I hope that they apply that Mattel 3-tier strategy to WWE. I hope they apply that to DC because I think it would work very well. And it blows me away that Hasbro is not doing it.
Yeah, I think, and I hope too that they do that if for no other reason than to kind of kick Hasbro in the butt a little bit, to be like, now these DC figures are going to be outselling the Marvel figures, which I think they kind of already do, actually. Isn't it the case that I think I read somewhere recently that people are buying more DC, or DC figures tend to sell better? And it's probably 90% Batman, but.
Well, also too, I wonder if it's also because Marvel Legends has been around for so long that they're now like Marvel Legends seems to be in like its twilight, right? Like it seems to be like they're not scraping the bottom of the barrel, but they're rounding out teams that are not finished yet. Yeah. They're giving us more, tertiary characters, your C, D, E level characters. They're rehashing, your classics like Cap, Spider-Man, Thor, Hulk, Wolverine. You're always going to have those that are evergreen, Iron Man. They're staples that have to be on shelves at all time. But I just kind of feel like they're in their twilight.
Sure. Yeah.
You brought up something that I found very interesting, was that with their Maximum series line, if Hasbro is saying this is our maximum offering, and that's now pushing not Hulk scale getting to $60, but Thor, right? Thor is $56 on Big Bad Toy Store. But that figure, if you're getting near that $60 mark, is it such a leap to think for $45 or $50 more, you could just go get the Mezco?
Right.
And you're getting better articulation. You're getting hell of a lot more accessories.
Getting more accessories, better hand feel, because it's going to higher quality stuff.
Far more premium feel in that.
Better and more soft goods. And this Thor, this was the point I was making, was like Hasbro is like, look, here's our maximum Thor, and it's like you pointed out, kind of a niche pick for them, like that design. And then Mezco drops this like classic, iconic Jack Kirby Thor, and that's what sold me on it. Was I was looking at that going like, I'm not number one Thor fan. I don't need a ton of Thors on my shelf, but I do want a kind of a classic Thor. And so I'd rather spend $50, $60 on a definitive Thor. But if Mezco has got the better offering, then, I'll sell some other stuff, whatever I gotta do. I want the good one. And so, I'm thinking like, by them saying, here's the maximum, prices are going up, they're hearing our complaints that it doesn't feel like it's that value. They're hearing, because I'm reading the comments. There's always a handful of people who are just like, "Oh, this is the best one yet." And then you're looking at it and you're just going, it's like a deluxe figure. These maximum figures, they look like $35, maybe $40. 56, it does not look like. So I'm wondering how much of them, how to what degree are they pricing themselves out of the game? To what degree are they pushing people to say, oh, maybe if I just don't buy a couple of Marvel Legends this week, then I can just take that money and just buy the Mafex, because the Mafex Thor, classic definitive looking Thor, is actually on sale on Big Bad Toy Store right now. He's about $75, something like that.
Right.
Why wouldn't I spend another $20 and get a Mafex versus this really oddly specific Thor that they picked,
Right. 20 extra bucks, you get Mafex. 30 extra bucks on top of that, you can get, or 20 bucks on top of that, you can get Mezco. Like, you could just like stair step your way up. And that's a good way to put it, is like, how far is Hasbro willing to go before they start like we're not going to catch on, and then that makes me wonder if they, like, us collectors, we know this, we know that there's other options out there, we know that, but are they banking on parents not knowing that and just going into a toy store and being like, well, I'm going to get him a Thor. This looks like the best Thor on the market right here. As a matter of fact, that's the only Thor option I have in this entire store. So I'm going to get this really cool one, because they don't know, because the parent's not going to know about Mafex. They're not going to know about Mezco and, whatever.
I don't know that that's even, a consideration, because have any of these Maximum series figures even been on toy shelves?
I've never seen them.
Right.
I mean, so that's a good question. I don't know that it's showing up in stores.
I don't know that it's even for kids. I think these figures are basically almost exclusively for adult collectors, which would explain the price. Because, like, I'm not going to walk into Target shopping with my kid or whatever, and he's just like, "Oh, I want this Thor figure," and it's $56. I'm not getting that for my 8-year-old. You know what I mean?
I never saw,
Yeah,
Hulk. I'm wondering if I ever did see that Deadpool at my Target with dupe. I don't think I did.
I don't remember anyone in our group, in our local, toy collector group, posting about any of these on shelves. So I don't think that's even a consideration of theirs. I think this is explicitly for adult collectors, and they're just like, we know people love Hasbro and they love Marvel Legends, and they'll just keep buying it, because what else are you going to do? Spend $100? Well, if it's a much better figure, if it's going to give me all the stuff I want, which, just playing around for a few minutes with this Thor, like, I love this thing. I was already happy to get it before I got it, and now that I have it, I'm like,
do you think,
bury me with this thing. Like,
what do you think Hasbro is doing at their,
that could be a whole episode. What is Hasbro doing?
like, what do you think they're doing in their meetings? Do you think that they took their Maximum series line and said, we want to make like a super deluxe offering of classic characters, right? And then, like, the budget team, like the bean counters, came back and said, okay, the only way you can make this happen is at the $50 and $60 price point? Or do you think Hasbro looked at the market and said, well, we've got the $25 price point covered. Mafex has the $80 and $90 price point covered. Mezco is your 110 to 130 area. Hot Toys has got the 250 and above. There's nobody making $50 and $60 figures. What could we offer at that price point?
Yeah.
Which way do you think they approach this?
I think that's more likely it. I mean, there was people talking about how this all decided by the shareholders. They're the ones who say, we want this much profit, do what you got to do. And so it looks like they're coming up with a price, and they're trying to justify that price, but they're trying to, like, barely justify it. They're trying to make us do a lot of the heavy lifting for them. Like, but look, most of this is all new stuff, guys. Right. And, like, that happens all the time in action figures. You know what I mean? Every time a new a line puts out a new character, they don't go, we never put this character out before, so it's $50 because we never had to made all these pieces before. But like, you know,
That brings me to that thing I shared with you the other night when we were out at the comedy thing. I was like, did you see the video by Rocco where he was like, the people come out from like Hasbro and they're like, well, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to give you guys value because, we're having to mold new pieces. And he's like, that's your job.
that's what you do. Yeah.
That's what you do for a living I'm
Yeah.
sorry, that's your problem to solve.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't see toy companies sitting around in the 80s going, wow, I would like to make some He-Man figures, but we don't have molds for that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we'd have to create an entirely new mold to reuse.
So we made He-Man and we sold him for whatever it was, $8. And now we want to make Beast Man. He's very different. So he's going to have to be $25, $30. Yeah.
Sorry, guys, we had to make a new mold.
We
Well,
had to make
I'm
a new
sorry, it's
mold.
covered in fur.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, right. Those old toy lines, how long did those lines keep going? They just keep adding new character, never goes up in price. And then now Hasbro's like, well, what if we give you some old lightning effects and a couple of new face plates and a soft cape? Then will you pay double the money?
yeah.
I don't know, man.
We've got, what are you guys talking about? Like, we've got 53 cents into this new figure. Well, of course we have to charge $12 more.
Yeah, I
No,
think
you
it's insane. I think it's insane that they are charging what they're charging for these maximum figures. And I'm not calling them bad figures. I think they all look really good, with the exception of Spider-Man. I don't like the really tight webbing. It looks like grid paper. But the rest of them, I think, look very good. Well, the exception of Hulk. He's very bright green. But otherwise, I think they all look pretty good. I don't really care for no. I think I do think
Well, except for Deadpool, I don't know why I had to become a dupe, and then Thor. What's up with this frog? Now that I think about it, I hate these.
I hate every one of them.
Now that I think about it, guys.
Fuck toys. I think they look. I'm not even calling them bad figures. I don't see the value, but I also doesn't stop me all the time from buying stuff that I want to buy. So I get it, and I think Hasbro gets it too. I think they know if we appeal to people on that level, and they go, look, I can buy this one Hulk, and there's 3 sets of heads, and I can have every look of the Hulk that I want. You're gonna overlook the fact that maybe he's too bright green. You're gonna overlook the fact that he doesn't come with he comes with a few accessories for a Hulk figure, considering. But we're gonna overlook a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna overlook that $60 price tag because I don't have to buy another Hulk, And but this Thor is like the first one I looked at that I felt like that is clearly a $35 figure. Like, if you didn't show me the word maximum and you just said, look, here's Hasbro's new Thor, I'd be like, oh, that's worth more than their $25
Deluxe release
Thors. Yeah, that must be a deluxe. That's nice. Too bad it didn't come with, I still would have complained about no spinning hammer,
Right.
But at 35. But
There's no clear delineation or tier system at Hasbro with the Marvel Legends line. It says this is a Marvel Legends, this is a deluxe, and this is a maximum series.
Right.
It's just you're almost like, what did you guys want to charge? This? All right, well, you got to put it in the maximum series box then. Sorry.
yeah, right.
Well, yeah. Let's see if we can get away with this, because how do you guys quantify? Because I feel like I've seen deluxe figures that come with more stuff than, than a maximum series figure.
Or as much anyway. Yeah.
As much.
I've seen deluxe figures that felt like a good value, for whatever it was, $35, $40. And you kind of go, oh, okay, well, there is more stuff there. And I do want this character. I don't mind paying a little extra. But then when you put the word maximum on it, and I'm looking at it, I'm going, I don't see more than I would with a deluxe figure.
Yeah. What makes this maximum?
Now I'm pumping the brakes, and now I'm like upset about it. Like, what?
We all have like this internal equilibrium that it's hard for us to like put a finger on, but we kind of feel internally when something feels like the right price.
Yeah.
And the thing is that every release from Marvel, the maximum series, has just felt overpriced.
Yeah.
My own personal equilibrium. And that seems to be anecdotally, that's what I'm hearing from other people as well. I have yet to hear anybody out there with a loud enough voice that says, nope, these are exactly what they should cost.
Yeah.
This is a perfect, what you're getting, like it would be completely different if every part of that new figure was new tooling.
Right.
That would be completely accessory it came with had to be newly tooled. And you could go, well, listen, every part of this is new. and everything had to be made from scratch. But I completely understand why that's a $60 or $56 figure.
And maybe you can't see it, but they also used higher quality plastic that you could feel when you get it in hand.
Yeah.
Like if that were the case, sure. But the other issue that I wanted to point out too is like, it feels almost like they intentionally, maybe not with each release, but say with Deadpool, there was no reason to package him with dupe when all we really want is more expressive Deadpool faces. They give you 2 faces with that
Right.
Deadpool. They give you a masked face and a half masked face, and that's it. And then they said, what else we're going to package with this? Why was it dupe? I get that they did that before in the past, and this is sort of like a funny callback to, hey, remember we did a Deadpool dupe figure, decades ago, but like, that's not something anybody wanted to return, That's not something anybody was like, how come Deadpool figures don't all come with dupe? We want more expressive faces, and that's something they could have done. They could have taken dupe out and just put 5 more Deadpool faces, just 5. And I would have been like, that is a great package because it's all the hands, tons of weapons, a range of expressions, like I would have bought that.
Right.
But I'm specifically not buying it because I know part of the money is going towards a dupe figure that I in no way want. And so
Yep.
they kind of did the same thing with this Thor figure where a lot of people would want a Throg, but I don't want it in place of a spinning hammer effect.
Is that what he's called?
Throg, yeah. Yeah. I think I've seen people call him that. And so he might have another name. Yeah. But some of us just call him Throg because I don't care to look it up.
Don't care to look it up.
But that dupe addition to the maximum Deadpool to include a character he is not associated with is a slap in the face. I don't see it any other way. I don't see how. I don't know. I could go on about this.
Yeah, but what we want to do is we want to hear from you guys. So
as long as you agree with us, we want to hear from you.
what we're going to do is I'm going to make a post on our Instagram page. Again, that's across the Toyverse, _the_Toyverse. And we'll be asking you guys on Instagram, and you guys can chime in there. You can talk to us here on this post on the YouTube page. You can chime in on the post from on YouTube. You can chime in wherever you listen to this podcast, and let us know your thoughts on all of this. Not necessarily Thor talk, but value talk.
But again, we're not saying these are bad figures.
No,
I think we're both saying we just don't feel like it has met the value that Hasbro is saying that it meets, and that is something we should push back on. That is something we, the consumer, should let these companies know we are unhappy with. Even if you want the figure, even if you buy the figure, you can still be upset that it's not a good value. You can still point that out. That like, yeah, I love this specific version of Thor. I'm happy he comes with all of these things. You can still be upset that it's $20 more than it should be, or $50 or whatever you think.
And also weigh in and let us know where you stand on, going up in price, like 56 for this Marvel Legend, or paying a little bit more and getting a Mafex, paying a little bit more and getting a Mezco. Let us know where you stand on that as well. We're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we're going to get into tariff talk. It's going to be riveting. Somebody might lose an eye. All right, and we're back. We are going to be talking a little bit here about the tariffs, because a couple of weeks ago, the Supreme Court said tariffs were unconstitutional, the way that they were implemented. And I'm going to start here with an article from CNN Business. It says the government is on the hook to refund $134 billion and counting worth of tariff revenue collected from the president's sweeping tariffs, which were rendered illegal by the Supreme Court last week. Of course, this article came out on February 24th. How much of that will consumers who paid for the steep tariffs via higher prices get back? And the answer was a resounding, almost certainly nothing.
Right.
If you shook up the magic 8 ball, it would come back and say, outlook not so good. That's because, according to this article, consumers paid for the tariffs indirectly. So they're mostly not the ones who made the actual payment to the government. When that, and perhaps if any, funds are ever returned, they'll go to what's known as the importer of record. Meaning that the party that paid the initial tariff bill, Costco, Walmart, Target, etc., they will be the ones who the government will refund because they are the ones that paid the tariff initially. So if a crate of cargo comes over and now it's $20,000 more expensive to bring that crate of cargo in, I don't know. I'm just throwing out easy numbers for easy math. And then Target says, well, we're going to pay that $20,000 at the port. They pay the government the $20,000, but now Target has to now raise the prices on everything in that crate to make that $20,000 back. They're passing that bill on to us. We pay that incrementally every time we go and buy one of those products. Then we are not the ones, even though the tariffs ultimately were paid out of our pockets. The government made their money, has been sitting on that interest as well. Any refunds that are paid back will go back to that company that paid them, i.e. Target, and then that money will never come back to us. So we wanted to talk about that along with the fact that Big Bad Toy Store, they also made an announcement a few days after this came out. They basically sent out a press release. Now, this is posted February 23rd, toynewseye.com. We are following the current developments of the Supreme Court ruling that most of the emergency tariffs affecting toys were deemed invalid. We understand that the case will now go back to the U.S. Court of International Trade, which will address the implementation of the Supreme Court's ruling with regards to current and past imports. We also understand new tariffs are expected to be put in place within the next several days. There will be a significant amount of information and clarifications coming over the next several days and weeks. We will update this FAQ section as we learn more. We are grateful to you, blah, blah, blah. Question, are prices going down? Answer, we do not know yet how the tariff ruling will impact suppliers' prices and costs. We will continue to monitor the situation and evaluate any eventual impact. Question, will the price of my current open pre-orders go down? A, our current policy, ads keep popping up, and so it keeps making me lose my place. Our current policy already reduces open pre-order and tariff surcharges amounts when tariff charges are lower than the estimated tariff surcharge. We've all seen that before. The price in your cart has, or your pre-order has gone down or it's gone up. Are you refunding any tariff surcharges? It is unclear if, how, and when paid tariffs will be refunded by the government. We intend to pass customer-paid tariff surcharges amounts back to our customers if and when BBTS receives refunds from the government and or our vendors for those tariff surcharges. The specifics regarding if government or vendor refunds will be issued, how they will be calculated, or when they might occur are still very unclear, and we will communicate updates as they develop. Question, does this affect all products or only certain ones? Answer is not all items were affected by tariffs. Any potential impact would depend on the specific item and where it was sourced. So that was Big Bad Toy Store issuing a press release about how they planned on handling it. And then March 2nd of 2026, this again, an article coming from Toy News Eye, Hasbro sues U.S. government to try and recoup tariff costs. Hasbro is one of the many companies who have decided to sue the federal government to try and recoup costs from the president's emergency tariffs he imposed in 2025 after the Supreme Court ruled against the use of them a little over a week ago. It is not known how and much. It is not known how much the total Hasbro paid, but it is said they are looking to get a full refund with interest Reuters was the first one to break this story. So we know that Hasbro and a few other companies have already tried to sue and get their money back. And we know that that could be years. That could be multiple years. It could be 5, 6, 7+ years. It's going to be tied up in the International Trade Court. It's going to be tied back up in our own Supreme Court. They could go back at it again, depending on who and what. Of course, by this time, Trump will be, failing at golf down at Mar-a-Lago again. He'll be out of the presidency and no longer be on the hook for any of this stuff as per the plan in the first place. So here we are left with companies will be getting refunds, but most certainly we will not.
Right. I don't have any reason to expect that we're going to get anything back from that. And our price is going to be going down. Maybe some, maybe a little, maybe here and there, but I think a lot of them, so we vote with our wallets, and if prices go up and we just keep on buying them, why are prices going to come back down? Why would they ever?
Right.
So
we didn't see it happen after COVID. We all heard, oh, well, the reason prices have gone up is there's less people working, there's less people at the docks, there's less people in the warehouse, there's less people at the manufacturing companies. So all the prices had to go up. Oh, we also heard supply chain issues because of the same reasons. There are less people on the boats. There's less boats. So we're having a harder time getting raw materials. We're having a hard time getting things actually delivered to our country. And so prices are going to go up because supply chain issues. They never came back down.
Right.
That hasn't happened. If you're waiting for that to happen, it still hasn't happened yet. So do you think these are going to come back down? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
These companies have already said, hey, look how far we pushed them. Well, you've already pushed them. They're already paying it. If there is a dip in the amount of money they made, 23, 24, 25, it's negligible. It's not enough to make them go, I guess we have to drop our prices.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't see prices coming significantly back down. We're definitely not getting refunds. Like you said, that's for the companies to try and get for themselves. It's just business as usual.
And as a matter of fact, I have made several pre-orders from Big Bad Toy Store recently. Almost all of them, it still said includes a tariff surcharge. Some of them say now excludes a tariff surcharge, but some of the ones I've made, this still has it on there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's about. So yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I think if anything, I could see a place like Target. I don't know if Walmart would do this, but possibly. I could see them doing probably like a refund. In lieu of a refund, they could put out a press release and say, instead of a refund, because we can't possibly calculate exactly what every single person paid, what percentage of that cost was because of tariffs. So I could see one of the things that those stores do here in the state of Florida is, and other states may do this, so your state may vary, is we have a tax-free weekend. Every year it's usually around August. It's like back to school season. It's right before hurricane season starts here in Florida. And so it's typically when people go stock up on their jugs of water and extra batteries and blankets and things like that. We'll have a tax-free weekend. So Friday at a certain time through Monday at a certain time, you go shop at Target and Walmart, and there's absolutely no state tax on your purchases. I could see them putting out a press release saying, we're going to have a tax-free weekend for you guys. Not like a tax-free weekend, but you know what I'm saying? Like
Tariff weekend.
It could be like a tariff weekend where you guys come in the store and shop, and you will get 15% off of your purchase as our way of saying sorry.
Right.
But that is you're spending more money at their store.
Right. Any refund we get is going to be in the form of us spending more money.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I could see that would be ultimately
Sure.
the only way that a big conglomerate like Walmart or Target would even remotely begin to tackle this.
Yeah.
But if you think you're going to get a check in the mail
right,
for some amount of money,
then
I've got some property to sell you.
I'm still waiting on my Doge check.
Yeah, right. And and our reparations that the president promised us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not coming, guys. It's just not. We footed the bill, and everybody else gets to make bank on it. But hey, we could always just stop collecting, and then prices of alcohol and cigarettes are going to go up.
Right.
There's no
Yeah.
there's no win here. There's
Yeah.
no win here. Well, that's all that I have for this week. Do you have anything else that you want as my dog begins to climb over you now that you've sat back and relaxed? Lick, lick, lick. Oh, she can't. You can't touch her without her licking. That's she's like a snake.
That's really it. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of recent news ground. So yeah.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to leave you there with that. Please be sure to check out our Instagram at Across the Toyverse. We definitely want you to interact with us there. We're going to be posting a lot of pictures from this play session and our recording session, so you can see the figures that Scott brought and I brought to mess around with, play around with. And I think we're going, since we haven't done a versus in a while, I think I really want to start posing like a question of the week and have you guys weigh in on it. And if we get some solid responses, some really good comments on the question of the week, then we'll read them in the next episode. And I'll post that this week. I think it'll probably be something along the lines of the value of what we're talking about. Where's your line in the sand? Are you willing to spend 60 for a Marvel Legends, or are you wanting to do 80 or 90 for a Mafex? Or are you willing to do 120, 116, 120 for a Mezco? What is so we'll do, I'll pose that question of the week. You'll see it. It'll be branded. You won't be able to miss it. And then you guys weigh in, and then we'll get back to it, get back to some of those responses in the next time we record. So yeah, if you don't have anything else, I don't have anything else. I guess we will see you guys in the toy house. Have fun and be kind to each other out there in the toy world.
Later.